everybody, I'm going on another Rini Ramble. I've decided that for this Rini Ramble, I'm not gonna actually prepare in any way at all. Usually I at least have some kind of idea of what I'm going to say and do. I basically just have a general idea right now. I also usually brush my hair because I'm going to be talking about writing. For those of you who do not know, I am a writer. I write way too much, but I never finish anything. I will show you. This is one of my many notebooks full of notes and stuff. This was started October 5th, 2005. Luckily, I am smart enough to actually write down the things I start. This is all the loose leaf paper I keep with all of the books that I'm writing, just in case I run out of notebook paper, because that's happened to me before. What is this? Oh, this is me turning my first novel that I've ever finished, which I wrote during geometry class sophomore year. I was turning it into a play, and I got pretty damn far, apparently. Wow, that's pretty cool. I forgot this happened, but there's a lot of notebook paper left, so maybe I'll actually finish it. And then we have these awesome journals I bought in bulk one year at a Borders, and I have one that I started in 2004, and I put more notes on in June 2005. Oh, no. I started this in 2002 when I was 12 years old, and I started rewriting it in 2003, and 2004 is when I actually transferred it into this book itself. So 2 years later, now that it's 2011, like 7 years from then, and almost 10 years from when I started writing it, I still only have 23 pages. And, oh look! It's the original one. It's in the book. That's kind of cool. Anyway, let's see. Oh, and then I have Blood of Roses. Actually, this is one of my favorite stories that I've written because of how it happened. I honestly only have one page. One. But the best thing, and this was started in 2002 as well. Wow, I was very, very gung-ho when I was 12, wasn't I? My favorite part about this is actually how it came about. My friends and my sister's friends, there were two other sisters at our school, and I was friends with the older sister, and my sister was in the class with the younger sister. I was 1 year older than the older sister, but anyway, that's not important. We all had a sleepover with everybody's friends, so it was a big, big thing, and they decided, you know, well, you're a story person, you write stuff, why don't you tell us a scary story, because it's a sleepover. I told the scariest fucking thing I could think of, and it was really messed up and ridiculous, but awesome simultaneously, because, guess what? None of us could sleep after I told the story, so we had to tell another story that was a little bit, you know, bunnies and rainbows and ponies. And I actually still have the first couple pages from December 2nd, 2002. Wow. I was a little machine back then. I probably should get back on that. So that's another one. Let's see. I don't know what this one is. What is this? This one was started in 2004. And it's supposedly some kind of action-adventure screenplay. Thank you, 14-year-old me. That was very specific. And then I didn't start actually writing anything beyond the notes until January 1st, 2005. So, 15-year-old me. 14-year-old me? I don't remember. I can't do math. I was born in 1989, you figure it out. So, what? I don't know what to do with this. I half want to just take the rest of this notebook and make it into something better, because I'm writing a story right now and I have no notebook for it. It is completely on loose leaf and I want to type it. I decided that I wanted to make that story, which it has yet to be entitled. I wanted it to be completely by longhand, how I used to do it with these. But once you get to page 60, you're kind of like, fuck me, I need to type this. And then I have this one, which is, wow, I started it, who knows, my rewrite, I don't know when I started it because I wrote it on a typewriter. Oh my god. Wow. Typewriter stuff. Well, actually it was a word processor, but it was that thing between the typewriter and a computer. I miss my typewriter. I used to have one, and it was really fun to write on, but I don't have it anymore because my parents threw it out when we moved into our new house when I was 10. So that's kind of saddening. But apparently the rewrite was in 2004. So between the dates of 2002 and 2004, apparently I was very, very good with writing. So those are all the books that I found of the manuscripts I have. I know that I'm missing some of them. Like my story about time travel in mirrors. I can't remember what I called it. I think it was called The Key, which is very blah, but I was like 11, so who cares? Yeah, I really started writing a lot after I was 10, didn't I? That's a lot of writing. Wow. So I want to find all my other writing, but I can't find anything. It's not there. And I have a bunch of manuscripts that are finished in binders, but they've been lost. My first draft of my first novel that I ever finished in my geometry class, I actually lent it to someone, and then I let my psychology teacher read it in high school, and I never got it back. So it's floating around somewhere in the ether. I hope no one finds it and steals my idea. And the other thing that I'm missing is my first ever screenplay that I wrote about fairies. And I actually made up my own rules about fairies and how they grow up and how they do this and that and the other thing, and there were all these trials, and it was really, really interesting actually, and would have been a really cool thing to shoot. However, the only hard copy I had I lent to a friend in high school, and she never gave it back. So the only other copy that I have of that is on a Hewlett-Packard desktop computer, which I'm pretty sure is from 1993, and I don't think we can turn it on. And I go, I want my screenplay. It's the first one I ever finished. I finished a screenplay before I finished a novel, which is probably a sign or something, because now I actually have other writings that aren't in books because I did this crazy thing called typing. I have now 3 plays, and I also have a novel that I wrote for NaNoWriMo in November, and I also have my my novel that I'm working on right now was actually supposed to be a short story. I wasn't going to put it beyond 24 pages. I'm on page 60. Oops. Haha. And so, you know, it's just like, I have so many stories, I just want them to be done. I don't even want them to be completed, I just want to finish them. Finishing is not the same thing as completing, because once you're finished, that means you've gotten to the last sentence, you know that the story is done. However, you have not completed it by going back and editing or adding in things that you know you need to add in. Shifters, which is the title of my NaNoWriMo story, actually has a lot more to be put in there, and I actually have to do a lot more research because I have absolutely nothing, I have absolutely no knowledge of the legal system, and I kind of need that for my story. Yeah. And for one of my plays, I think I entitled it Indigo after its working title, The World is Backwards. I'm not sure if I did, or maybe I should just make it 2 titles. I know that people sometimes hate the subtitles when it's like title, other title, but I kind of like those sometimes. But because Indigo won't really mean anything to you unless you know about that. I basically want to go back and type all of my stuff. I want to finish it. I'm thinking of taking all my stories that I started when I was 12, revising them and turning them all into short stories. Speaking of which, I have actually written 2 short stories this summer. so that is good as well. I think I need more though, because I am taking fiction writing in the fall and you need to get critiqued, and I'm scared. And for those of you who didn't believe that I was a co-captain of the cheerleading squad, there you go. Yeah, so I will be revising several different short stories and potentially turning my longer stories into short stories. I want to make them at the longest 15 pages and hope that that's okay. I'm actually only good at writing fantasy or horror shit. It's really a weird combination, I know, but I don't like fiction. I think some fiction is really awful, and it just seems so dry. I just need magic in my stories. For example, one of my stories seems like it would be fiction and then somebody time travels. It seems really out of place in the entire book, but it has, you know, it's like the Deus Ex Machina. You kind of need it for the story to go forward. I should probably get all of my stuff written and in before August 20th. I'm making a deadline for myself right now. All the things I want to write need to be written by August 20th. Remember that, Rini. I've given you a deadline. Past me is now telling future me to do it now because I know you procrastinated. I'm watching you. Yes, I have 2 cheerleading trophies in actuality. Anyway, so, I want to have at least 5 new short stories before fall semester because we need critiques on things that have absolutely no emotional attachment to yourself. Because one of the things that they do is they critique it and they say that if you write it too soon, you're emotionally attached, and that way, you know, you want to defend your story because you have to be quiet as people critique you, which is scary. I already get nervous when I send my stories to people I really know and trust and who I really value their opinions, but I don't know how I feel about these kids I don't know reading my shit and then telling me it sucks. It kind of makes me upset already, and I'm not even there yet. So that's kind of balls, man. Like I said, all the people I know and trust who I've been friends with for 5+ years, I already get nervous from them. I always ask for critiques though, because I don't want people to just tell me, oh, it was good because they're my friend. No, I want you to tell me the truth. I mean, if you even watch these, you know, I mentioned my friend Yasser in my last video, and I actually trust him more than a lot of people with critiquing, simply because, I don't know, I just do. It's very strange, but especially because I wrote a short story and it was kind of horror, and I didn't tell him this, and he'll find this out later, but one of my short stories was venting frustrations towards my family, and then when he critiqued it, he told me there were hints of incest and I should explore that further, along with the fact that my main character was a bastard. Considering that the main character had most of me in it, I kind of found that amazing and hilarious. So, I just wanted to tell him, actually, Philip is me, so you know. Yeah. So, that was funny to me. Also, my friend Kurt read the story as well, and he critiqued it as well, and I appreciate both of you for reading it and giving me completely honest opinions. It helps that I don't tell you that I put myself into a character. I tend to put myself in all of my characters. Not all of myself in all of my characters in one story, but I will pick one character in each story, and there will be a lot of me in them. And it's not always the main character. It's just occurred to me how many trophies I actually have. It makes me feel somewhat accomplished. And so, I put myself in the stories, and then I feel like I can really create a world around that character because it's really me. I'm creating a world for myself to be in, and it's kind of pretty bad because most of my writing is basically self-indulgent, and it's making me feel better about the world I live in now because I can control the ones I write. That's why I like to write. I put myself in the story and then I write things around it or characters around it. I'm pretty sure that when I started out writing a Dane story, a Dane is my main character of my new one, that I'm pretty sure I thought I was putting myself in a Dane, but I ended up making a character who actually wasn't supposed to be there at all. He was actually supposed to just be like a back shadow, but he's actually become one of the main characters. Oops. I love it when that happens. You make a character and all of a sudden they're really important. So anyway, I ended up realizing that I put myself into Finian more than I was putting myself into a Dane, which is good, because a Dane is the protagonist. I mean, he's still a main character, but usually I try to not put myself in the main character simply because I don't want it to be more me than anything else, because then all of my main characters will start to look alike. However, I would find it very fun to then write a fanfiction of my own shit, where I take all of the characters who are supposed to be me and I put them into one story. Wouldn't that be cool? However, that's just me and my crazy mind trying to put things together that shouldn't be together. So in conclusion, those are all the things I like to write about, and those are all the things I do when I'm writing. I have a lot of books and stories that I really want to finish, but I can't finish them. I feel like I need some more motivation, you know? Someone give me more motivation. I need more motivation. I'm also working on 2 scripts for things, because I want to start making little clips, maybe 15 minutes long, which means that the screenplay would only have to be 15 pages for each episode, because apparently per page is the minute that you're filming or something. There's a rule about that, apparently, that each page is 1 minute. That kind of makes me happy, because that means that my plays that are 105 pages are actually a significant length. So, future me, this is your project. 5 short stories, August 20th. You need to have them all done. I want them to be at least 15 pages each. I believe that is 75 pages of story. 5 separate, different short stories. I want you to revamp your character for the SCA. 1 story. There you go. You've already got 1 idea. Work on it today. Alright, so, future self, I hope you've gotten your 75 pages. This is your past self telling you to hurry the fuck up. You have to move into school soon. And you should probably get on that. So, I will be showing you absolutely no pictures of me writing, because it would be very boring. I'm not actually writing. This is what I'm doing. It's bad. Addictions are bad. So yep, that's all I have to say for today. Or for right now, really. And if any of you are wondering what this is actually a medieval change purse that I carry around for my reenactments, because you can't have electronics or anything modern. So I have a change purse that I bought in France, actually, on Mont Saint-Michel, that works very well for my reenactment stuff, and it's surprisingly roomy. And I found change inside of it, which is always nice. See y'all later.